Welcome to another edition of Mateo's Hoop Diary. We're checking in with the Denver Nuggets, and this team has done a complete 180 after losing games to the Oklahoma City Thunder and Los Angeles Clippers here at Ball Arena to start the season. And it's all happened, following Nikola Jokic, the Joker's lead. He's playing at an MVP level, and if he wins another one, it would be his fourth. You're seeing outrageous stuff from him. He's averaging a triple-double, and what's remarkable is that most people are, unaware of his, or I shouldn't say that. A lot of people, I should say, rather, are unaware of his improved defensive game. Out of the 10 games this season, he has got the defensive player of the match chain in the locker room by Michael Malone a couple of times, and it's happened because he's a much better pick-and-roll defender than he was in years past, and, he does have good help from Christian Braun at the point of attack, but when you're in the back, especially in the drop, your job is very hard because you got to guard two players at once. You have to make sure that the screener doesn't beat you going behind you on the roll, and you also have to keep your eyes up front and to make sure that the point of attack defender doesn't get clipped and the outside player doesn't have an open look. Nikola Jokic has got much better at deciphering those offensive plays and from the other team, and what you're seeing from him on offense is just remarkable stuff. There was back-to-back games where he dropped over 40 points, and at first that didn't seem like a good thing for the Nuggets because he was doing too much, but around him the players just started falling into order, playing well. And when I asked Coach Eric Spoelstra when he was here for the Miami Heat's visiting game, before the match, I asked him, how do you deal with someone who creates so many overreactions? And he gave me some, great stuff, about, help defense, but at the end of the day, he said, all of this is just words. And, I admired his honesty because he's basically conceding there is nothing in hell you can do to stop that man because he is so quick to, decipher double teams with the pass, and he's so strong. Sometimes he can just maneuver around them. Now, he's been playing at an unreal level, but, Michael Porter Jr., after, 2 poor games to start the year here at home, has really cranked it up in the accuracy department. This team, he's been an indispensable part of this team, and recently in the game against the Dallas Mavericks, he hit the crucial basket late, getting free from on the right wing from Kyrie Irving and then hitting that floater. He has come a long way since being someone who had to miss time from because of his back injuries, and he's someone who has become a security blanket for the offense because of his long-range accuracy, especially off the catch. And he's also someone who can put the ball on the floor off of the catch. He's still not someone who's going to be like, Michael, please, create something off the dribble for us right here. But he can score, off the catch, going to the hole. He's very good at that. Gordon, before he got hurt, injuring his calf, he was playing at a near all-star level because he's a switchblade on both sides. He's very strong as a backline defender. He's tough to score on. Next to the rim. I'd say the only type of players are the ones that give him trouble on defense are the quick ball handlers because it's hard to for anybody to cover those guys, but I'd say he does a decent job of covering them, but those are the guys who can get the better of him. He's someone who can hold his own playing small ball center. He's just a huge part of this team, and it just says a lot that now that they're still finding a way to win without him, and continuing on with the guys who have been thriving. Christian Braun, he was more of a background player last season, and right now he is playing at such a high level that nobody is noticing the absence of the Pope, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He left for the Orlando Magic in the summer, and right now Christian Braun is a better player. And I'm not saying it's because KCP is averaging poor stats right now in Orlando. You got to understand he's Paolo Banchero, the guy who creates a lot of overreactions, is not there, and I'm comparing Braun to KCP's last year next to the Joker. What Braun is doing right now is better than what KCP did last year and in his championship year with the Denver Nuggets. Christian Braun is, someone who off the catch, scoring on the inside and out, is averaging 75% effective field goals. That is, unbelievable efficiency, and he's just someone who is going to be right out there at the end of the year for the most improved player of the year award. In total, right now, he's averaging 16.5 points on better than 55% of his shots. He has just been a huge. Excuse me, pardon me. I got little tongue twisted. Christian Braun has just been huge for the Denver Nuggets offense this year, and Russell Westbrook, he has been more good than bad. Well, definitely. He'll still have his inopportune turnovers, but the good thing about Russell, or one of the good things about him, is that he's one of the better players at delivering the entry pass to the Joker, and they're developing a lot of chemistry. And the opposite way, when the Joker gets the defensive rebound, he hits Russell Westbrook in stride, on the outlet, for some quick points. And another thing about Russell Westbrook, he may be in his 17th season, but he is such an elite level athlete that he can get a basket without the help of a teammate setting a screen in front of him. He can just burn the on-ball defender like it's nothing, and even at this age. And credit to him, he's really embraced his role, and he's starring in it. There was multiple games, consecutive games this year where he had 20 points, and that's huge for this offense. And it's, one of the concerns was, this year the Nuggets is shooting. They've found other ways to, they have, cranked it up in the shooting. Make no mistake about that. But they've also found other ways to hurt the opponents, because this is a team that's fifth in transition frequency. They're not the most accurate in the open court, but at 15th in the league in that department, but they can still get better there with considering how much time they spend in the open court. They're also sixth in passes per game, and that's super attractive to me, because you will always beat the defense quicker off the pass than off the bounce. That's just basketball 101. And this is a team that's also getting a lot of production from one of their reserve players. Well, not on the dribble, of course, but on the catch, and it's Peyton Watson as of late, and he's someone who is also very good defensively, especially on the ball. There was one game when the Thunder came back this year where he blocked Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to close the game. As one of the Nuggets broadcasters so eloquently mentioned, he didn't get that last year, but he did this time. He's an improving defender. He's got speed and length, and he's got high IQ. There are moments where he can take some gambles, but Peyton Watson is a high level plus defender and a huge part of this Denver Nuggets team. And all of this. Now, I'm sure you've been thinking, what about Jamal Murray? Yeah, right now. All of this has taken a lot of pressure off a player who, had played a better after, coming out of concussion protocol, but we're not seeing the same Jamal Murray, the blue arrow that, showed up in the 2023 playoffs being a monster, or the one from the bubble. This is he's still good, but it's, If the Denver Nuggets, want to continue, getting better and, ultimately, be a elite level team, they're going to need more from Murray. And here's the deal. Right now, half of his 2-point shots come with help. And when you look at the last 3 years, you counting 2024, the championship year, and the season he tore his ACL, only a third of his 2-point shots came with help that season, and in those years 59% of his threes came with help. Now this year he's looked also like he's lost a half step on the dribble. 76% of his 3-point shots are coming with help, and you can get by with this in the regular season, but in the playoffs, there are going to be moments where a high level player is going to need to take pressure off of the Joker, and he's going to need to be that level of player, and he hasn't so far to start the year. Mentioning that the concussion he got, it was the game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The last one the Denver Nuggets lost. He crashed with Julius Randle on a screen that looked incredibly painful, and when he came back, he was shooting a lot better. Or and I should say the last game, 41%, but. It was encouraging, especially how he played against the Miami Heat, because he looked explosive on the dribble, and he was just torching the defense when they dropped to the back. There was at least three possessions where Bam Adebayo decided to tag the roller, and he he exposed Jamal Murray. He told me after the game that it was pick your poison. Well, he certainly picked the wrong one there, dealing with Jamal Murray from long range. But right now, he's still good. If he returns to elite form, the Denver Nuggets are going to be as good as they were last year. I hesitate to say as good as they were in the championship year because they don't have, Bruce Brown anymore, Jeff Green. Those weren't just locker room guys. They were very productive on the court. But right now, the Denver Nuggets are going on a 3-game road trip to New Orleans and then for a back-to-back set. No, excuse me, not a back-to-back set. It's a mini-series against the Memphis Grizzlies. So I expect them to win all 3 of those matches, but this should be a good test going forward. Thank you all for listening.